Use the Force, Luke.
Live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer, what a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Stay a while and listen.
Hey ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Bow ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds.
Welcome back, everyone, to a triumphant return of a Play on Nerds after so long of a wait. We really apologize for that. Steve and I had life getting in the way.
Life just occurred.
Life happens, and we have lives, and we have, to do things sometimes besides this podcast, even though we love this podcast. But we're back.
We love doing you people, too.
We love doing you and the podcast. And that laughter you hear is our special guest host today, Patrick, who you might know from our lovely Twitch channel and from previous episodes of A Play on Nerds. How's it going, Patrick?
Hey guys, I'm doing well. I did my best as well to get into everything and gum up the works so that you couldn't release another episode. I was like, attention here, attention there. Look at me, look at me.
We should have blamed the whole thing on him to begin with. In case you're just now joining us for the first time, I'm Jarman, and our other main co-host.
I'm Steve, the other guy.
The other guy.
I'm nobody important, don't worry.
Yes, you are.
I'm Patrick.
You'll see Patrick on our website, too, under Steve and I. He's our video game correspondent because he does so much twitching all the time on the Twitch channel. He just sits there on the camera twitching the whole time.
And not just because of the meth.
Not because of that. He still has all his teeth.
I also do a lot of just twitching. Yes.
That's true.
And later on in today's episode, we'll be talking all about the Fallout franchise. This is an idea produced by Patrick. So stay tuned for that later in the show. We talk about Fallout from the beginning to where it's at now, going with Fallout 4. So stay tuned for that later on in the show.
And then actual nuclear fallout.
Then we're actually gonna set off a nuclear bomb. Yep.
We'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun.
But it's been crazy. So Steve, what have you been up to all this time since last episode?
Well, all this time, it's been a crazy couple weeks. Of course, 4th of July, family stuff. But more importantly, my wife's father passed. The Thursday before the 4th of July, so the 2nd or the 3rd. And it was a long time coming, but it was really nice. The whole family was there. So as far as that goes, it was as good as it could have been.
It was also your birthday these past couple of weeks, so it's...
Yes, and then I came back, lived a little bit of life, and then it was my birthday this past Thursday.
So it's just a strange... dichotomy of events there. That's really strange.
That's true.
Happy birthday, Steven.
Yeah, God.
Yay, I made it another year. Who would have thought?
Gosh.
But had a nice, it's basically customary at my company to take your birthday off. So I took my birthday off and did nothing, and that was it. It's been a pretty lazy couple days.
Your company gives you your birthday off?
It's not they don't give, but it's just one of those things that it's understood you're not going to be there.
Huh. That's pretty awesome.
It must be nice.
Yeah, it is.
I worked my birthday. And my birthday's a holiday.
Yeah, that stinks.
Wait, when's your birthday? What holiday?
December 24th.
That's not a real holiday.
Christmas Eve? Nah, not a holiday.
Let me know when it's National Pancake Day and your birthday, okay?
Oh, there you go. That'll be nice.
Fair enough.
And tell our lovely listeners, Patrick, what's up the highlights of your life right now?
Well, I've already let you guys down, and I didn't stream Thursday or Saturday, but that was because I had family in town visiting, and we went out and did the natural
That's important.
river floating things in the 100+ degree weather we are having here in Tallahassee right now.
Yikes.
So, but it was a good time. I got to see some old friends that moved away to have real jobs and do stuff with their lives, and I got to see my dad and his fiance. So it was a good time. We had a good time watching, hanging out and eating and just enjoying each other's company. Now they're all gone, and now I get my house back to myself.
So you said you did floating activities? What is...
So here in Tallahassee, one of the big things to do is go up to, I guess would be referred to as Bear Paw here in Tallahassee.
Okay.
I want to say it's the Chippewa River or something close to that. That's going to be wrong.
Is it the Itchnatucknee?
Is not Itchnatucknee. Itchnatucknee is in the middle of the state. That's
okay, because I floated the Itchnatucknee.
Okay, so somewhere between 75 and I-10 is Itchnatucknee, and that's like a 3-hour float. If you do Bear Paw correctly, which we didn't, it's a 5-hour float. You get in, float down, have a good time, try not to get caught drinking and other fun stuff. But it's been so long since I've gone that I couldn't remember where the end of it was. So after dropping everybody off at the beginning and going to take the car to the end, after 45 minutes of searching, I didn't find it. So we ended up just floating right at the beginning for a while and having a good time, and didn't actually float the length of the river. So
okay.
Shame on me, but we had a good time nonetheless. And
you think there would be signs?
Well, there's like what's referred to as Bear Paw is Bear Paw Adventures. And yeah, I guess I'm sticking them here. You can pay them, and they'll give you floats, and they'll drive you. But all the locals just park behind like the church that's nearby and go and float for free. Bring your Walmart floats and go and have a good time. And then you don't have to pay anybody to come get
you did neither of those things then.
Exactly. We did neither of those things.
You went with option 3.
That sounds like an activity that Boomhauer would be involved in. I'm gonna go behind that church over there and get a Walmart float and go down that river there in Tallahassee.
Walmart float and go down river here. So, Jarman, what have you been up to?
Well, I floated down the Would You Touch Me, and it was a good time. No, that's
5 hours, man.
No,
it was crazy.
5 hours down the Would You Touch Me?
It's a great river. It's it's very pedophilic.
That's where your uncle lives, right? Right next to the Would You Touch Me?
Every creepy uncle lives right in the river. Would you touch me? No, I just do that. I had an anniversary with a girlfriend. It's the same day as Steven's birthday, so it's easy to remember from that regard.
It's also my brother's birthday.
That's right. It's your brother's birthday, too. Also, I've been working on my audiobook quite a bit, getting a lot of that done, so that's a lot of fun. I finished watching Farscape, which is a good show. You should check it out. It's the Henson Company produces it as well.
Yep.
And but it's a very adult show, but it's got a lot of funny moments in it. But they have puppets in it who, after a while, you forget that they're puppets. There's characters in that show because they're so lifelike and cool, and they have animatronics mixed in with them. So definitely worth watching. And I'm starting to watch Lost Girl now, which is all right. Yeah. But
you know what Anna and I watched? Almost blew our head up.
What?
Ascension.
I watched it too. That's why I was going to tell you about that.
I think we're only 4 episodes in, and we're not to the end, but it already just making my head explode.
Well, you know the hot blonde, like escort stewardess chick.
So the young one or the older one?
The younger one, the blonde though.
Okay, yeah, she's super hot. Go on.
She favorited my tweet on a Play on Nerds.
Oh, you mentioned that, but I couldn't. There are a lot of hot bitches throughout the whole show, and I didn't know which one you were talking about.
I tweeted, I said, it's really a shame this show didn't go for a second season because Ascension is really awesome. And her name is, I have it right here.
Hot Bimbo.
That's horrible.
What?
Her name is Jessica Sippos. And she's the actress from Ascension, and she favorited our tweet about Ascension. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, that's really cool. Well, thank you, Bimbo. I can't remember her name already.
She's not a bimbo. We have feminists who listen to this show. Will you stop that?
She didn't get the role because she was ugly and well-educated.
She got the role because she's hot and a good actress. You can't just be hot. You gotta also be able to act.
It's not like her role in the show is entirely based off her sleeping with people. Oh, that's right. Her role in the show is entirely based off of her sleeping with people, okay?
I'm going to move on from this.
Come on.
So the other thing that happened over this while we've been gone is San Diego Comic-Con, which is a huge event that
Yes, it has.
I want to go at least once in my life, but it looks so corporate and so overly packed that I'm kind of like, I'm good with Dragon Con. Because Dragon Con's in Atlanta, and that's much more fan-based and more parties, and I don't know. What are you looking at?
By that you mean you're just too lazy to get to San Diego Comic-Con because it looks amazing. And like I could mingle with 100,000 people.
It looks like too much.
I just think it looks like people trying to sell me stuff at every corner. Whereas like Dragon Con, it's like, hey, come to these cool fan panels where we can just chat with other fans about cool shows and occasionally see some celebrities, and you can actually make it in the hall. You don't have to wait for an entire day to see something. And then, I mean, there are more celebrities there and stuff, so I do want to go once, but I don't know. But actually, one of our listeners and our one of our guests that came on the show once, Joff, who talked about the Ultron comics, which he was incredibly knowledgeable about. He requested us to talk a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con and stuff they've done there. And we're getting that later because we're going to cover the trailers they've released, Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad. We're talking about that later.
That's the best part of this time of year is the amount of leaked stuff that comes out of San Diego Comic-Con.
Absolutely.
X-Men Apocalypse, the 2 trailers we're going to be reviewing later, all sorts of sneak peek photos, and I I love this time of year.
You know, I'm surprised they still haven't talked about anything from the Warcraft movie. They haven't showed us a damn thing from that movie.
We have seen they released screenshots or images a few weeks ago.
Did they? Like from the
Yes,
actual
it does
film?
not look. It does not look promising.
Damn.
I was gonna say that sounds like a story dying. That's what that sounds like.
Yes.
It looks like they're trying to go really stylized.
In what way?
They're trying to keep it looking like the game, which I'm not sure is a good call or not.
Game's like cartoony.
Right. And I think that's what they're sort of going for with like the oversized, like pauldrons and the overly stylized shoulder piece and that sort of stuff. I don't know.
Well, it should be interesting.
Let's speculate some more on two pictures.
Yeah, this movie's shit. Never seen it.
That sounds nothing like speculating based on just trailers.
Just burn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Burn it. Doesn't matter.
Burn the whole damn thing down. But yeah, other than that, if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agent Carter, they've done a hilarious thing at San Diego Comic-Con. They keep sending these videos back and forth challenging each other from this website I've never heard of before until now called Dub Smash, where basically it plays a song while you're recording a video so that you can mouth the words along. And then when you play the video, it just plays, the audio is just the good quality audio of the song, and it looks like you're kind of singing the song.
Okay,
so the
that's pretty clever.
The cast have been sending videos back and forth, challenging each other with like ridiculous 90s rap songs and stuff. So that's fun to watch if you like those shows. But any other things you guys saw from San Diego Comic-Con that you found interesting?
A girl dressed as a sexy gremlin. That was pretty good.
You would like that.
And interesting to me specifically.
Because you're sexually attracted to gremlins.
And I'm going to try to get that outfit for myself for next year. That's exciting.
It's like one step away from a furry. Just be careful.
Yeah. Now let's get into the realm of nerdy news.
It's time for Nerdy News.
Because everyone comes to us for their respected news source.
Absolutely.
Hey man, I love nerdy news. I'm like a fanboy on the show, like, hey guys, hey, we're gonna do nerdy news now? Yay, exciting.
I really enjoyed that music, and it's actually from a 1980s news broadcast. I found it online.
Okay, I wasn't sure where you picked that up.
It was I doubt anyone's like claim copyright on that because it's like from the 80s and some
one very angry old newsman somewhere,
some local station.
All right, so I'll go ahead and get us started off. And as always, I come up with a clever name for my story. And this week it is batshit crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So in Borneo, of all places,
lovely place, I hear,
they have found a carnivorous plant called a pitcher plant, whose leaves literally look like big basins or pitchers.
Yeah, pitcher plants.
And what they found is that bats love hanging out in these pitcher plants. Not getting eaten by them, but just hanging out. Nice, cool place to hang out during the day. And the pitcher plant naturally attracts flies and bugs, and so they get to eat some of those. And for a long time, they couldn't figure out why bats were so attracted to these pitcher plants. And they found out the pitcher plant is actually shaped as a sound reflector, so that when the bat sends out echolocations, it literally echoes back to the bat, and the bat can find it real easy.
Does the bat think it's another bat?
No. But apparently it just makes it very easy for them to identify them when they're out. And so then they then find them, land in them, hang out for a while, eat some bugs. And what they found the pitcher plant gets out of it is bat shit.
Guano.
Which is rich in nutrients and nitrogen. And they get as much bat shit as they can guzzle down.
So that also means pitcher plants are highly flammable, I would assume.
Fill the circle of life.
Yes, and disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting. So I just remember going to Jamaica as a kid, and I was there with my sister's boyfriend, and he smoked a lot. And he was about to light up a cigarette in a bat cave that we were touring. And the Jamaican guy was like, "Don't do that!" He like stopped him from lighting because he was going to blow up the whole cave.
I like the Indian Jamaican man.
I don't know why it came out Indian.
Yeah, do not light that in here.
Don't light that in here.
No.
That is very bad idea.
Another one going on the back end of pitcher plants. So all three of us, have a friend in common that had an experience with a pitcher plant. So my mother very much into gardening, had pitcher plants in our backyard, and it was, we had a cold snap in Central Florida, so she had all the plants inside, and for whatever reason, I had friends staying over, and so one of the places she hangs plants when she runs out of space is the bathroom. It's moist in there, they're easy to water, but it's warm nonetheless. So he took a shower, and one of the pitchers turned upside down and dumped out its contents onto him, maybe in a very sensitive area. Oh. And your skin does not like the whatever it is, acidic or poisonous substance that's in the bottom of the pitcher, especially if it collects water. So don't bathe in pitcher plant juice.
And that man's now a woman.
No, he made a full recovery.
There's somewhere in the world where there's a spa treatment based on burning yourself with a pitcher plant. Someone pays money for that. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, in LA, I would assume.
So that's batshit crazy.
Patty, what's your news story?
Well, because I'm the guest on the show, I've got to bring us all down. That's my goal here.
Well, you already delayed the show so long.
So I've got to bring it down, and we want to certainly remember this week we lost a great Mr. Iwata from Nintendo. He was currently the president of the company. And I think the best way we can remember him, for those in the news segment of this, he died from a tumor in his bile duct that was going to be removed. If you're going to get taken down by something bizarre, I guess. I don't think that's all that common.
True. Doesn't sound like it.
So I just want to remember him with a few quotes. Now, forgive me, these quotes are almost 10 years old, but I think they pretty much, you can see it reflected in Nintendo as a company. The quotes I'll share. First one, which is the big and popular one. Above all, video games are meant to be just one thing. Fun. Fun for everyone. And I think that's very shown in Nintendo and the games they have. Mm-hmm. He was also quoted as saying, "We are trying to capture the widest possible audience all around the world." Another thing I would certainly say is done by Nintendo.
I thought you said widest.
Widest. Most
that might
people.
Be accurate.
Another. He was also quoted as saying, "Even a small amount of power can have a great effect when concentrated on a certain area." So, Nintendo's always been kind of the least powerful console, and I think that was just like a stab at that. And then lastly, I never once been embarrassed that children have supported Nintendo. I'm proud of it. That's because children judge products based on instinct.
That's really smart.
That's very good too.
And they always have been kind of a unique company outside the other big companies, and
the only reason I called him Mr. Iwata is because I will butcher his first name.
I will butcher the word butcher.
Oh well, Nintendo's had very successful presidents in the past. I'm sure that they will elevate somebody who will continue to lead Nintendo and make the games and craziness we've come to expect.
Oh, and absolutely. And their newest voyage into the forward as far as the gaming world, they did recently announce that they are joining the mobile platform for phones and things like that, because consoles aren't as popular, because we want to play games on our phones. So hopefully we'll see the likes of Mario and Zelda and Metroid on our phones.
I want TV and movies. That's what I want.
This is what I've been telling people forever. If they made a Pokemon game and made it so I could turn on Bluetooth and battle and trade with people, I would pay $20 for that game on the iOS store.
And you would spend thousands of dollars in add-on content.
The in-game purchases.
I would buy the privilege of catching them all.
Buy to win.
Insert catch 'em all music.
But I hear they're in development of either a Zelda movie or TV show, one or the other. I'd love more of that. Maybe a retry at the Mario movie, perhaps. A Metroid movie would be awesome.
Let's just leave Mario alone.
Mario maybe.
Let's go with the other guys.
I loved that movie.
That was bad enough.
You could have a great Pixar-style Mario movie. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, that's true. That would be fun.
Not live action. He doesn't really belong in live action, but Zelda could definitely be a live action movie.
That's true.
Anyways, good story there.
So what's your nerd news, Jarman?
My nerdy news is something out of space, the final frontier. There's a dwarf planet called Ceres, which I forgot to look up exactly where that's located in our solar system, but NASA sent the Dawn spacecraft out there to take a look at it and basically get an imaging of it and kind of map it a little bit and figure out more about what its makeup is. And once it arrived there, it's making several passes around the planet and slowly getting closer each time and taking different routes so it can get the whole thing. And at one point, it took a photograph that it sent back that made everybody go nuts because it had these 2 lights on the planet, really bright white lights. And at first, NASA admitted they did not know what they were. And then a week later, they're like, oh, it's absolutely ice. It must be an ice reflection on the planet. Like, oh, well, there's ice in the planet. That's fascinating in itself. And shortly after they said that, the Dawn spacecraft had detected an anomaly and went dark. It basically shut itself down. And it's basically awaiting further instructions from NASA. So this is all fascinating. And so then eventually they redid it and had it come back online. They reprogrammed it. And suddenly instead of going closer to the lights like everyone wants them to, they said, oh, we're going to take it further away from the lights and send it on another pass because we want to make sure it's reconfigured and set up better so it doesn't mess up or anything. So it was all just very odd that they... And that's what the interesting thing is, too, is that now they're saying, oh, and it couldn't possibly be ice, so we still don't know what it is, but we're pretty sure it's salt. So salt is apparently now making those giant 2 bright white lights.
It's ghosts?
I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Or alien ghosts.
It's aliens or alien ghosts, one of the 2, or Bigfoot shining mirrors at us from Ceres.
Sure, he is a trans-dimensional being, from what I'm to understand.
He smokes cigarettes.
Or it is the real-life incarnation of Doom that is actually the portal to hell.
It very well could be. So anyway, I thought that was fascinating because it is kind of weird. When the government does flip-flops like that really fast and they're not really sure what the hell it is, and the spacecraft mysteriously shuts off, either by NASA or by accident or by aliens, it's fascinating.
Yeah, because the government never flip-flops on things they say.
Just like they did with Roswell.
So you're right, this is weird.
Roswell, they were like, we caught an alien spacecraft. And then the next day, they were like, weather balloons. And then 10 years later, they're like, actually, it's Mylar, this weird special project we were doing. And now they're saying that it was crash test dummies. So they still can't figure out their story. Aliens. Ghost aliens.
I'm going to say it was Nazis.
Nazi aliens.
Zombie Nazis.
Aliens.
Zombie Nazi aliens. Who are also ghosts.
The ghosts of zombie Nazi aliens.
Coming to you in a theater in 2020. Nazi ghost alien zombies.
That's more like straight to Sci-Fi Channel, but yeah.
I'm not even sure it would make it straight to Sci-Fi Channel.
on your local PBS station.
Straight to Mexican television.
Filmed in Gary's garage. I love Gary.
Well, we'll keep our eye on that. Maybe it'll be alien ghosts.
Maybe. You never know.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
So I guess that brings us to our special feature all about Fallout.
Woo!
Woo! And I have to say, I do have a special connection to Fallout.
Oh.
Yes.
What kind of special connection do you have?
Nothing sexual, but
So
I was hoping you were going to say Star Trek, but now I want a sexual Star Trek connection.
I was hoping that Fallout gave you crabs.
Nope. That might happen in the future. But so as part of the history, which is a good segue to start off this segment, of the history of Fallout, there was a game called Wasteland in 1988. And most of the creators of Wasteland took a lot of the features from that game and went on to make the PC game Fallout, the first one. So they call it the spiritual successor of Fallout was Wasteland. After Wasteland 2, a lot of those creators left the company, and just recently they made Wasteland 2. After Fallout 2, they left the company and made Wasteland 2. And I did a voiceover for Wasteland 2. I'm in that game.
Oh.
I played Corex, the arcade owner. He's a little small part in that game. But so I'm partially connected to the Fallout world in that way. But anyways, somebody want to start us off with like what this is? I mean, I did a little research into it.
So let me tell you what I know about Fallout.
Okay.
Having done no research. So it's like Dungeons and Dragons in a post-apocalyptic world with some first-person shooter stuff, but none of the speed or action of an actual first-person shooter.
I think maybe 1 or 2 of his points stuck to maybe the modern games. Maybe.
Because it is originally kind of based off of a Dungeons & Dragons system, one called GURPS, which I had never played. Our buddy Owen growing up, he had played a lot of GURPS. But it's a similar thing with rolling dice and making characters, but they put that into a computer form for Fallout 1 and 2, and it's still loosely followed in Fallout 3. But the creator of GURPS wouldn't let them use his system because he said it was too violent. So they had kind of created a deviant, a deviant, is that right? A variant of it. There you go. But yeah, it was like overhead view, and it's kind of like an RPG. What was it kind of like, Patrick? I mean,
I would say you're right on there. It was an overhead view, with a turn-based battle sequence. So it was overhead and open world. We played lots of games like that, especially in the early ages of Super Nintendo, with movie games. Like I remember specifically Jurassic Park. One of the Jurassic Park games was very much like that. Final Fantasy, I think, would have one of the closer feels with the overhead walk through a world and then you're in a battle. Just with that sound effect too. I know something that was kept through all 3 games was the special, which refers to where you invest points for different skill sets. So you had strength and perception, endurance, agility, luck. I think I'm charisma and intelligence. I was like, I'm missing some letters in that word that I didn't spell right.
Yeah, that was the kind of the deviant, or the variant I was talking about of that GURP system. They could call it special, and they kind of went out from there. But yeah. But 1 and 2, those were kind of older games. 98, or what was it, 97, I guess, was Fallout 1, and 98 was Fallout 2. And I guess they're both just PC games. They weren't on any systems or platforms.
No, they were. I don't believe they were console-based at all. I do have some notes from at least Fallout 1, some notable voice actors that were in Fallout 1.
There was some incredible ones in there.
Now, of course, we have Ron Perlman. He's the voice of the narrator.
War never changes. Since the dawn of humankind, when our ancestors first discovered the killing power of rock and bone, blood has been spilled in the name of everything from God to justice to simple psychotic rage.
We have, I only mentioned a few. We definitely have Richard Dean Anderson was in the first Fallout, the guy who played MacGyver, if you're familiar with that.
And Stargate SG-1, he was the lead in that too.
And then we also have Jeff Bennett, probably most well known for doing the voice of Johnny Bravo.
And Jim Cummings, Frank Welker, those are huge voice actors. Tony Shalhoub from Monk fame. CCH Pounder, who's this awesome actress who's in Warehouse 13 as well. She's been in tons of stuff though. And Clancy Brown, who you'll probably recognize his face because he plays characters in tons of movies. He's a big guy with a big, low, gravelly voice. But yeah. But Fallout 2 had Michael Dorn, Worf himself. I mean, come on. And Dwight Schultz, who is from the A-Team, as well as Star Trek, as Lieutenant Barclay, which is awesome.
I'm glad you had Fallout 2. I couldn't find voice actors for it anywhere.
Oh, you really?
I just assumed it was lame and no one played it.
They only have 4 actors mentioned, and the other one is Jeffrey Jones, who I'm not familiar with, and Cree Summer, but maybe someone in the audience is, and they're yelling at me right now. But the voice list gets more crazy as it goes on, because in Fallout 3 and
absolutely,
Fallout New Vegas have a ridiculous amount. But we can get to those voice actors in a little bit. Because Fallout 3, I think, is where this series went, to everybody, the masses. It became even more popular because it became all these awards and everything. How'd you first get into it, Patrick?
Well, actually, one of our good friends, Zach, introduced me to Fallout 3, and I played it console on the Xbox 360. And then my life was over. I just played Fallout 3 for days and hours and months and years, and I still play Fallout 3 to this day. Today, my wife was playing Fallout 3 because I just recently got her introduced into Fallout 3, so she can understand why I'm going to take off of work and stop bathing and not move from the television screen when Fallout 4 comes out. And now the whole release is becoming widespread. Fallout 3 was released specifically in October 2008, but it was available not only for the PC, but for Xbox 360 and PS3. So that's where that kind of broadening of horizons made it very, very much available, and it adopted the first-person shooter
as opposed to the overhead view. But the big thing that makes Fallout great, and Steven, have you seen clips from it and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of general pop culture knowledge at this point. It exists.
Like the Vault Boy is probably the most popular, little iconic, cheesy 50s little vault guy in the blue costume.
Yeah, and you got to go collect little figurines and shit.
Yeah, and bottle caps and everything. But I'll go ahead and read from the Wikipedia page here about the setting, because it describes it better than I probably could. This is for all the games, have this kind of same setting. It says, the series is set in a fictionalized United States in an alternate history scenario that diverged from our reality following World War II. The transistor was not invented, while vacuum tubes and atomic physics became the cornerstones to scientific progress, eventually achieving the technological aspirations of the early atomic age and locking society into a 1950s cultural stasis. So basically, when everyone comes out of these vaults, they still have like 1950s hairstyles and ideals and speech patterns, and all the advertisements are all 1950s. It's like, they call it atom punk, apparently, is the name of that. Steampunk, there's all kinds of punk.
Sure, that sounds good and made up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I just haven't, certainly it's all 50s based, and I think if we took nuclear technology and was able to make it, your car is nuclear powered. Mm-hmm. Your house runs on a nuclear generator. We took that and we that's where the science is bent.
Because it's so safe doing that.
Everything is no, but I mean that's the idea that they have developed all the technology to run nuclear, and it's safe and small.
Yeah, exactly. And they play all 1950s music because there wasn't really much music made after the world was destroyed in a big nuclear explosion.
Your life isn't complete until you have played hours of Fallout with the radio stations playing in the background. There may only be 6 songs, but they're the best 6 songs in the world. Or the only, depending on how you look at it.
The only 6 songs in the world.
But apparently the 3 games happen in the time frame after the war, like 80 years to after the war 200 years when you get to the third game. So you're kind of popping out of these little vaults and going out into the wasteland of the world and going on adventures and trying to survive, basically.
And now, are there different classes in these games, or?
Kind of, but you get different skills. So you kind of, not really, you don't choose a class, but you pick perks. So you always have a customized character and what they're good at. So you become good at rifles or pistols or knives or that kind of thing. But they don't.
So we can give
wait, is that your class?
Well, you don't get a class because you can become good at anything you want.
Right, but is there a limit to the amount of things you can become good at?
Yeah, you'd have to play forever to get good at everything. So it's kind of impossible. You want to focus on something. So if you want to become a really good sniper, it would take a lot of time to get there. So the game would be over.
So sniper is your class?
No, because then you'd also be really good at pistols and really good at building something, and you could become good at a lot of things, but just not all of them. So no 2 characters would really be completely alike.
To give a little bit of a breakdown, let's for anybody who's never even touched the Fallout franchise, let's go Fallout 3, and this is one I'm going to know the most about. You create a character. One of the big things that was big in Fallout 3 was the amount of customizability. Yes, that's the word I'm going to use. To make the face and the skin tones and the hair, and it was in the genre of time. It was it was when there was way too much customizability. But anyway,
so you create already.
He has been drinking, folks. God, just keep that in mind. Patrick has been drinking.
So essentially, you create a set of special skills, like we said before: strength, endurance, perception, agility, luck, and intelligence. Mm. And then all those things affect different skill sets. And skill sets can range anything from barter and charisma to lockpicking and science to medicine to melee weapons, small weapons, big weapons, plasma weapons or futuristic weapons, explosives. So, I mean, each year, depending on how you invest your points in your special skills, which are your core skills, depends on what secondary skills they affect. And then Jarman mentioned perks, and perks are kind of like you in Fallout 3 you get every level, and they're like dumping a large amount of talent into something. So like you might get a perk like heavy back, so now you're stronger, so you can carry more stuff. Or you might get lead belly, which is a fun titled one where you can drink the radiated water without it affecting you. So there's just different skills, and that's how the character is kind of built. Like, as opposed to it being like, oh, I'm going to be a rogue, or I'm going to be a wizard, or it's obviously more modern based than those characters are. But you're right, Steven.
Right,
you can focus on like a like I want to be really good at future weapons, so plasmas and lasers and that kind of thing. And maybe you carry a laser rifle, or maybe you carry a plasma pistol, but you're focused into that weapon group.
Makes sense.
So, but based off of the traits I'd pick at the beginning, charisma, strength, all that, are there some things I'm just never going to be good at, depending on what I pick?
They could certainly affect your ability to get those other skills super high. So your skills can go up to 100. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And so if you invest all your skills in, like when I play a character, I enjoy being very charismatic. I like being able to be good at speech checks and good at bartering and being able to talk to people. So I may sacrifice being able to use melee weapons and big weapons for that trade-off of skill. Now, I could get those skills high, but it's going to take me the whole game to get those skills high, and they're not useful at that point.
So yeah, you can you boost those things because you're planning on being good at them in the beginning of the game when you create your character.
Ultimately, in Fallout 3, you could become powerful across every field.
True, because there's really no end to the game. Like you can follow the story if you want, but you don't have to. That's why I never finished it. I played it for 70 plus hours because I just goofed around in the towns and shot people and stole their stuff, and then had to leave town because people were after me, and it was just ridiculous. And you can you can buy your own house or just find a place to store your crap, and that's why the honest trailer for this game that was really funny. Did you watch that by chance, Steve?
I did.
Oh yeah, because it's very true. It's very accurate. Just collecting junk all throughout the game. There's one instance where there's ammo in a toilet bowl, and if you accidentally drink the toilet water and your health's too low, you might die.
Right, you die.
Fallout 3. Get ready for another Elder Scrolls game with the look and feel of the Fallout series awkwardly bolted on. Welcome to your new life in post-apocalyptic America, where every creature is a hellish abomination. Most of the humans try to kill you, and just breathing gives you cancer.
So, I mean, a good way to look at that is the game probably has a solid 40 hours worth the main quest content, but there are hundreds of hours of side missions. So it just gives you that wonderful feel of an open world.
Yeah.
Because you can follow the main quest line, or you can wander off and get yourself killed, or you can wander off and meet cool characters.
Is there any penalty to dying?
I forgot.
You died.
You go back to your last save. So it is
okay.
If you don't save, it's like any modern game. It has autosave built into it. So, but it's not like a random autosave. It's you travel through the world. You go through a loading screen. Any loading screen essentially equals autosave.
Okay.
But one of the first things I liked about playing the third one that kind of drew me in was, the story, first of all. I feel like you're kind of playing a movie when it first starts out, because you start off in the vault. And one of the vaults has been sheltered this whole time, so they don't know any other world besides this vault.
And you start out as a child.
Yeah, you grew up there.
Start there.
So you're just a kid. But the voice of your father is played by Liam Neeson. So I'm like, I'm sold. I'm going to play this whole damn game. Because
No, it's my father. Liam Neeson's my father, Jarman.
He's my father. Shut up.
Well, when I get taken, he's going to come rescue me and not
exactly.
you. So.
But my father has a special set of skills.
That's true.
I will find you. And I will kill you.
Other voice actors in there were Malcolm McDowell, who everyone would know from Star Trek, of course, but also Clockwork Orange and all that kind of thing. And D. Bradley Baker, who basically is the best weird sound voice actor in the entire world. He's renowned for it. He can do any animal noise you possibly want him to do. And so instead of having to find that or Foley it, they can just get him to do it. But yeah, Fallout 3, you're kind of searching for your father after you escape the vault, because the guy in charge of the vault has basically gone crazy. And you have to watch out for...
Spoilers.
Well, that's not giving away too much. But then you have to look out for mutants while you're out there collecting stuff and getting better at your skills so you can try to find your father. And it's just a lot of fun. But I don't know much about New Vegas. I haven't played that, but you have, Patrick. So tell us about that one.
Yes, so New Vegas is what, as far as when I had gotten into the franchise, was what I was waiting for and anticipating and excited about, because it was like, we have another game. I'm going to get to waste more of my life playing. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And New Vegas came out. So 2 years later, we got New Vegas.
It was a smaller game, right?
I wouldn't necessarily call it a small game. It's kind of, it's not small enough to be DLC, but I wouldn't call it big enough to be. It is, but it's not as grand a scale as Fallout 3 was to be its own game.
Gotcha.
Lots of new content as far as in the world, as far as like factions and creation and crafting. And now looking at Fallout 4 and what it's come to, Fallout New Vegas has its place, if that makes sense. As far as what you're going to be able to do in Fallout 4 and what you could do in Fallout 3, this is a good bridge. We just didn't know it was a bridge when it came out. At least that's my interpretation of it.
And they say it is like standalone where you could play without knowing anything about the other games because it's...
Absolutely. Yeah. You absolutely can. It has an independent storyline. It takes place in a new location. That's another thing we didn't note. Fallout 3 takes place in Washington, D.C. It is a wonderful landscape, including all of the big landmarks, the monument, the Lincoln Memorial, so on and so forth. And then New Vegas obviously takes place in Vegas. And there is a functional Vegas in New Vegas. So there's lights and things you don't expect to see in a post-apocalyptic world. But no, it is a completely different storyline. It is a lot of fun. We've been playing it on the Twitch. So that's what we've been doing in anticipation for Fallout 4. And I love the game. So call me lazy for just playing the one game, but I love it. So come tune in and watch. But no, you get a lot of new things that you're able to do. New partner characters and things like that, which made it a lot of fun. But it just had a different look and feel. Now, the one thing, as a Fallout 3 fan, when it came out, I certainly felt like it was kind of a little bit of a letdown because it was almost an identical engine. So it was just like playing Fallout 3 visually.
So there wasn't any improvement then?
No, it didn't feel like it. And on that note, when I played it on a console the first time through, I stopped playing it because the load screens took so long. The first time I've ever stopped playing a game because I was just tired of waiting for load screens.
That's pretty bad.
Now we're playing it on PC for Twitch, and I mean, lickety split. And I found out that Fallout on all fronts is more beautiful on the computer.
That's usually the way it is, unfortunately. Except with the brand new ones, PS4 and stuff like that. If you don't have a top of the line computer, those are gonna be better, I guess. But
agreed.
But man, the voice actors in Fallout New Vegas. My goodness.
Oh my god. So obviously Fallout 3 was a big deal. Fallout 1 established the franchise. Then we had Fallout 2. Fallout 3 was the oh my god, everyone loves this, widespread. And so they had all that fame and all that recognition to move on to Fallout New Vegas as the bump between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. And like Jarman was saying, the voice actors. I'll let you take it away, Jarman. I will look at my list and fill in anybody if you missed them.
Oh, sure. First of all, René Auberjonois, who is the actor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He's fantastic. He was also the chef in, I believe it's not the Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast? Or Little Mermaid? Little Mermaid, yeah, because the fish almost goes into the pot, and he sings a song about cooking the fish.
Poisson, les poissons, how I love les poissons. Love to chop and to serve little fish. First I cut off their heads and I pull out their bones. Ah mais oui, ça c'est toujours délicieux.
Rob Corddry, he's hilarious. He's in this movie. I'm in the movie game. I'm losing my mind now too.
That's just a great description. And the fish shit almost goes in the pot. He sings a song about the fish in the pot.
And then we have John Doman, who I don't recognize his name, but you'll recognize his face. He's in tons of stuff, and he definitely has that kind of grisly voice. He's in the show Gotham right now.
What are you looking at, Jarman? Like the random list of voice actors that no one's ever gonna...
No,
go to IMDb and start at the top. Let's go pop culture. We got Matthew Perry from Friends.
But he's
that 10-year long.
Yeah, Friends has been relevant for a long time.
He's in Gotham,
now.
though. It's a good show. He plays Carmine Falcone in Gotham.
We got your
Carmine Falcone. No,
we have your beloved Felicia Day.
Yes,
she was in Fallout New Vegas. And then my exciting, which I just recently figured out. I had a friend of a Play on Nerds actually. Alex Massey, shout out for you. She's all over our Facebook all the time, liking things and watching things and helping me keep us nerdy. But she was playing recently, and I was listening in the background because I had the game and she didn't. And I figured out that Michael Hogan from Battlestar Galactica is the doctor that you first interact with in the game. And I was like, I recognize that voice. Is that phone, IMDb? Yes, it is. So go ahead. I'll let you continue with your list. Yeah. It's like, you're not mentioning anybody I know. And of course, Ron Perlman came back as the narrator in Fallout New Vegas.
And Michael Hogan has a lot of games now. You'll hear his voice around a lot. But Also, we have Will Wheaton, of course, who's awesome. He plays someone called Robo Brain. Danny Trejo.
Oh, I didn't know that he was in it.
The crazy Danny Trejo is also in there. You got Wayne Newton himself playing Mr. New Vegas.
Hey, I've met Wayne Newton.
You have? Where?
Have you?
Well, in Vegas?
Side story.
All right, so here's my quick story. So at MGM Studios in Disney Orlando, they used to have a thing called the Stars of Tomorrow, where they had a green screen or blue screen, and then they would dress you up, audience members they took as volunteers, and put you in front of the blue screen and put you into your favorite shows. And it was like a stage show sort of thing. Took about 45 minutes, and I got pulled and sat backstage, and I was being set up to play the skipper in Gilligan's Island. And sat in this chair with my skipper outfit on, and sat next to there's an older guy with very big coiffed hair. I remember looking at him and going, "Yeah, are you nervous?" And he went, No, I'm not nervous." So what I didn't realize is that every week they had a celebrity, an actual celebrity on retainer.
What?
To come and do the end shot of this stage show thing. And that week it was Wayne Newton. So I sat and had a 10-minute conversation with Wayne Newton and had no idea who the hell he was.
Did your mother want to kill you afterwards? For not
Afterwards, like, did you get to meet him? And I went, who did I get to meet? Like, I did not realize who he was or that it was actually him.
Just thought he was from the audience or something.
I thought he was just some guy being pulled to play some guy.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
An accidental
Yeah,
story.
I asked Wayne Newton if he was nervous about going on stage for an MGM show.
He's like, "No, I'm not nervous at all.
No, I'm not.
I
just want my paycheck.
I don't want to be here." A couple more mentions. Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall does a voice as well.
Mm-hmm.
And also we got Zachary Levi, who's really funny, and he runs Nerd HQ. He's from Chuck. That's who he recognized from. And Chris Christopherson. Didn't know he was still alive, but yeah, he was. But
yes, he was.
Anyways, that's New Vegas and 4.
So we've talked a lot about the old games. Patrick, what do you think we can expect from the 4th?
Yeah.
Oh man, I am so excited for the release of the 4th. You have no idea. There are not things I can tell you things that you're going to get, not just expect, but get from the 4th game. It is based on a new engine, so it is beautiful and amazing. There is tons of E3 footage out there for the game. One of the bigger things, I mean, you're going to get everything that you had in the old games. You're going to get the VATS system and the Pip-Boy interaction. We didn't really mention that too much, but there is a menu system that you use that is based on a wrist thing that's worn on the wrist called a Pip-Boy. The VATS system is the in-game bullet time aiming system. It gives you percentages. I'm pretty sure from footage, it's not I can freeze time anymore. It is now actual bullet time, so people will continue in motion and movement towards hurting you while you're using the system. But so it makes it a little bit more realistic, more attractive to the people who are more into it for the first-person shooter. Let's see. You're going to get lots of characters back. In the trailer, we definitely get a Mr. Gutsy is the default, but it's a Codsworth, I believe, is the robot's name we see in the trailer. Yes, Codsworth, which is one of the robot types. If you look at the trailer, so a lot of characters coming back. A lot of the gameplay styles that we're used to are coming back. Officially, Fallout 4 takes place 200 years after the Great War. You start out pre-war and learning about the lifestyle and the family, and before you go into the vault. And when you come out, it's 200 years later, and then that's where the game starts off. Some things that have been released, not only do you get all the gameplay that you're used to, but they're going to have a much more extensive crafting system. So as opposed to in the old games, one of the things Bethesda loves to do is load their worlds with junk. Everything and anything you can interact with, you can pick it up, you can take it with you, you can sell it to a vendor. But in the old games, you had specific things that you knew were just junk. Junk was junk, and all it had was the value it did nothing else. In the new game, even junk can be taken apart to make other things. So it's got a much bigger, huge crafting system that wasn't apparent in the other games, which is awesome to bring in there. And then something that's all new and very exciting is you essentially can build your own bases now. So there are areas in the world which you can interact, which you get to build the building you live in. So you get to customize it. So you're getting kind of like this Sims-esque kind of building ability to add rooms and floors and things like that. But then you also get tower defense style things because you're building these buildings, you will be raided. Raiders, one of the main bad guys in the game, will come try to take your forts and try to steal your stuff. So you get to build turrets and defenses and power and lights and all kinds of awesomeness. So those are some of the really exciting things we know so far coming into the new game.
And what's weird is that they were going to make a MMORPG version of Fallout up until 2008, 2009. And they got in such a huge legal battle between the other company that used to develop it, Interplay, with Bethesda, and who owned what rights to do what. And so finally it just got shut down. It was in beta mode and never made it out. But it came really close, because if that happened, they probably wouldn't have had Fallout 4. Or Fallout New Vegas, that is.
Some of the things that were exciting leading up to this, there was the talk of the MMORPG, which I think was eventually codenamed something like Failure, or something of that nature, because of it, just it falling apart. And something else exciting, in the third game, you did have a companion you were able to get named Dogmeat, and everybody loved having the dog companion to help you do things. There is a dog in the new game. That is one of the things that everyone's excited about. You do have a dog companion, and it's one of the first things you encounter in the game, according to trailers and gameplay releases.
Well, I will say these new games, at least the third one in New Vegas, are great storytelling games and open world games, kind of like, and not quite the same, but like BioShock. This creates this new world. It's all original and all interesting, and you can follow a story that's really fascinating and different. So I think it's a great series, and I wish I had more time to play them.
I agree. I would definitely say if you're interested, if you are listening to this podcast and have never touched anything Fallout, and you are interested in playing, you can absolutely go out and I would start with Fallout 3. And if you want to go way back, you can. Fallout 3 is a great first time experience. I would suggest it on the console. If you are a computer game player, at your own risk, because it's not compatible. It's not 100% compatible with Windows 7 and newer. And I couldn't tell you anything about Mac. So, but console, it works, and it's very, very beautiful, and it's very fun to play. If you're a PC gamer, definitely go New Vegas. Although you don't get that Fallout 3 original experience, it works, and it's made to work on newer technology. And then Fallout 4, I mean, by all means, do what you want. We're going to do PS4 here on Twitch, so.
Well, if you want to test it out, just watch Patrick up on these next couple of Twitch streams, and you can see him playing it first. There you go.
So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a burn it. I'm not sure. No?
You're in the wrong phase here, buddy.
Is that not what we're doing right now?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I've got something for Steven. I'm going to say shut up, and they've already taken my money. I have already pre-ordered.
Yeah, shut up and take my money.
I'll say I've gained weight playing this game, so F you, Bethesda. Yeah, there you go.
And if you're one of the Bethesda insiders, meaning at one point in your life you worked retail, the site's under construction, so hopefully we'll get some. Maybe they'll be handing out some free stuff as well. So,
ooh,
well, there you go.
All right, well, thank you for the discussion of Fallout and bringing your expertise and knowledge that we just did not have.
Absolutely,
you're welcome.
As he drinks some more, we will move on to trailer reviews.
Trailer reviews. Here at Play on Nerds, we have developed an interesting rating system to bring to you our ideas on the trailers we're about to review. At the low end of the scale, we have Burn It, where we think you should find every copy you can get your hands on and throw it into a barrel fire.
Kill it with fire. And our next step is Drunk Watch, which means that, yeah, I'd watch this movie. It'd be entertaining if I was under the influence of some kind of substance of some kind. But if I was sober, probably not going to check this thing out.
Nope, not going to see it. Next, we've got We'll See, which is maybe we just don't know enough about this movie to tell what the hell it's going to be.
Could be good, could be bad, not sure. And our next category would be Get the Couch Ready, which means I'm definitely going to check this movie out at home. Wouldn't necessarily pay the big bucks to see it in theaters, but I'm definitely going to watch it at home, so get that couch ready.
After that, we have Take a Look, where we are recommending for you, our viewers and listeners, to check out this movie and check out the trailer and tell us what you think about it. We wanted to see what you guys think.
It looks pretty good, but we're not quite sure yet.
Yeah, take a look. Yeah. Let us know.
And for our final and best category, we have Shut Up and Take My Money.
Shut up and take my money.
This looks so awesome, we're gonna see it.
That's where we cannot wait to give Hollywood bigwigs all of the money that we have earned at work to go see a film for $47. We're so excited. We just have to go see it. We don't have a choice.
And that is A Play on Nerds official copyrighted trademark system for rating our movie trailers.
So I think we should, this is a logical path that we first talk about Batman v Superman, or is it Batman versus Superman?
I'd say go for the versus.
I like what Nerdist calls it. They call it Batman v Superman Dong of Justin. That's what it is.
Can we call it Batman this Superman?
Yes, we should.
This.
Today is a day for truth. The world needs to know what happened and to know what he stands for. That kind of power is very dangerous. Let the record show that this committee holds him responsible.
That's how it starts. The fever. The rage that turns good men cruel.
This Bat vigilante is like a one-man reign of terror. You don't get to decide what the right thing is. Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
This means something. It's all some people have. It's all that gives them hope.
People hate what they don't understand. Be their hero, Clark. Be their angel. Be their monument. Be anything they need you to be. Or be none of it. You don't owe this world a thing. You never did.
Do you know the oldest lie in America, Senator? The devils don't come from hell beneath us. They come from the sky.
20 years in Gotham, how many good guys are left? How many stayed that way? He has the power to wipe out the entire human race, and we have to destroy him.
You're gonna go to war. He is not our enemy.
Black and blue. God versus man. Day versus night. The red capes are coming. The red capes are coming.
So what do you think, Steve?
So I think that they showed just like my problem with almost every trailer. I feel like they showed a ton, and it makes me excited because it tells me that either there is no more story and we have nothing to look forward to, or there's a whole side of the story that they're not showing us anything about.
That's what I'm hoping.
And that's my hope.
Yeah.
I think that the confrontation between Batman and Superman is going to be out of the way in the first half of the film, and the second half of the film is going to be about something bigger.
That would be great. Because I am one of the people who had no problem with Man of Steel. I really liked Man of Steel, the movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And I really didn't give a shit that he killed Zod at the end. I'm like, he had to kill him. There wasn't really another choice. I mean, You could disagree because you have a long history with the comics and you know the character better, but this is a new version of Superman. And he was painting himself. You could see it in his face. He was crying, and he didn't want to have to kill him. It was his last connection to his home world, but he was going to kill these innocent humans, and
he had to go.
He had to do it. And he knew that this guy would never stop. That made total sense to me, but everyone is ranting and raving about it. And the fact that he killed all those innocent humans by destroying the city. Yes, that is awful.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, too.
But they are directly addressing it in this movie. You can tell that from the trailer. They're like,
there's political backlash against Superman.
Because he killed people, and he's a god, so basically he could kill the entire human race, so someone's got to do something about it, and there's Batman.
And for some reason, Wonder Woman.
Which we don't know why yet. That's why I think you're right.
Yeah, we don't know why.
About that greater good, the greater cause thing is going to happen, because they didn't really explain any of that. But the visuals, I think, were awesome looking. I always like Zack Snyder's visuals, at least. Sometimes his movies are shitty, like that Sucker Punch movie wasn't that great of a movie, but it was visually awesome.
Visually very cool.
Visual.
The judicial system. But no, the hardest part I've always had with the dichotomy of Superman and Batman is that Superman really isn't at a disadvantage at any point. And that's going to be a tough sell.
I think they show that one shot of Lex with kryptonite, so I think they must put that in Batman's outfit. That must be the whole idea.
Oh, yeah. But it's always, Batman's really good at hiding and stealth, but Superman can see through walls and shit. There's always, Superman always has the upper hand, so it's hard for me to take Batman seriously.
You were going to say something, Patrick.
You guys answered a lot, because I wasn't sure if this took place directly after the Man of Steel film, because because you see the shots in the trailer of the buildings being cut down, and the Bruce Wayne, we won't talk about who it's played by, running and be like, no, this isn't okay, and running and then standing with the little girl. And
it's probably a flashback to those events like they're going to show in the movie.
And that makes sense. And now, as far as the Wonder Woman and Steven's comment about Batman and Superman, now granted, we do have in place that Superman killed somebody. That is the violation of Superman's moral code.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Batman's moral code really too, but the thing I think you get from that is the only weakness Superman has, is this moral code. And now it's been questioned, and that's why they're the whole placement of Superman versus Batman. But yes, Batman is severely underpowered, but they address that in the trailer too. It's man versus God. Like, I mean, in a real battle versus a man versus a godlike character, man stands no chance. And so what saves Batman is Superman's moral code of not killing him.
So
he can beat him to death. He can beat him nearly to death, but not kill him. And in addressing Man of Steel, he kills him. One, like you said, Jarman, he's not going to stop, and he's paying. He is the sacrifice for the death that was just gone through, knocking down buildings and cutting through stuff and all the innocent lives. Yeah. He is the toll. He is the payment or the sacrifice.
I thought it was fine. Yeah.
I'm totally on board with. This came from a friend that I watched the trailer with this weekend. Half of the movie is going to be the conflict between Batman and Superman, and then obviously they're going to team up and they're going to fight something else.
I've heard something else. Of Doomsday in there somewhere.
See, that's what I was hoping for, but I think if they're planning on making any more movies, which something you certainly have to consider these days, this is only the second of Superman films. So Doomsday effectively in the comic book series kills Superman. Mm-hmm. So that would be a good third movie.
But then Superman comes back with a nice 90s mullet. So that's how it works.
Fair enough. But I think that's where Wonder Woman and stuff's going to play in, is the second half.
I hope that's how Jesus came back, too.
The 90s mullet.
Yeah. Showed up 3 days later with a sweet mullet.
You know he did. That the same Jesus? Yeah, that's him. He just has really bad fashion sense.
But yeah, either way, no matter what, this is getting a shut up and take my money from me. I'll go see it.
Same here. I mean, I'm going to see it no matter what. What about you, Patty?
Unexpected, Steven, but I'm also shut up and take my money. I was going to say, if you think Jarman's nice to movies, I'm doubly nice. Money? Here, you can have it.
I'm excited. I might be struck down for this, but I'm excited to see Ben Affleck be Superman. Batman.
He looks good to me.
I'm excited.
He looks like a great, grizzled, older Batman. I like it.
Yeah. Come out of retirement to face off with Superman. That seems good to me.
I also like the butler's name.
Jeremy Irons as
yes,
Alfred.
See, you can remember his name either.
There you go. He seems like they made him look a little too young, because you can make Jeremy Irons look older at this point, but they made him look even younger than he is.
Maybe Jeremy Irons didn't want to look old.
Maybe he didn't. I can't do his voice.
No, you can't.
I just remember Jeremy Irons from Die Hard 3, which he was awesome in.
Yes, he was awesome in
I can't go past without saying the one thing that trailer that really bothered me was Jesse Eisenberg saying that line at the end, "The red capes are coming. The red capes are coming." It just sounded really lame, and that was like a stupid line because it doesn't even make any sense. Like,
all of his appearances in the trailer make him look super lame.
What's the last thing he says? He says something can suck my, and they cut him off.
He doesn't say that in the trailer.
Did I not hear that? Did I just make that up?
I think you made that up.
You're just imagining Jesse Eisenberg asking to suck you off. That's what I understand.
It's not
you want the fake inventor of Facebook to suck you off.
Yeah, it can take my money. I'll shove it down those Hollywood producers' throats. Let's move on to our next film, The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and they just released this today officially, I think.
Because it was leaked yesterday or the day before, but it was really terrible.
And initially I was confused why they were filming and releasing this so soon after Batman vs. Superman. And I realized, oh, of course, because they need a lot of the same actors, so they're just kind of keeping them on schedule and under contract for a shorter period of time. Just getting them filmed quickly, one after another. That made total sense after I thought about it for 2 seconds, especially Ben Affleck, who's probably the most in demand of all of them.
It's taken some work, but I finally have them. The worst of the worst.
Where?
Let's just say I put them in a hole and threw away the hole.
There's rumors, Amanda, that some of them have abilities.
Oh, yeah. I have seen things. Maybe Superman was some kind of beacon for them to creep back from the shadows. I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet who I think can do some good.
They're bad guys.
Exactly. And if anything goes wrong, we blame them. We have built-in deniability.
What makes you think you can control them?
Because getting people to act against their own self-interest is what I do for a living.
Are you the devil?
All you need to know is you work for me.
So that's it, huh? We're the patsies. We're some kind of suicide squad. Let's go save the world.
You're in so much trouble. Hope you got insurance.
Know what they say about the crazy ones?
Huh? If I'd only see
Oh, I'm not gonna kill you.
that the joke was on me.
I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
But no, Suicide Squad, it makes me excited to see a movie about villains, which really hasn't been done in ever. I can't think of the last film where it was centered on villains.
Well, I did hear someone say something about, I think it's the Movie Fights podcast. They're talking about how it's going to turn out lame where all the villains aren't really villains and they were forced to be villains for some reason. So that way you'll have to be able to sympathize with all of them. And he's wishing that it'd be more like the comics where they actually are all evil bastards and just they have to fight because they have a chip in their necks that'll explode if they go against their mission, basically. So I hope they're not all, because they show a lot in the trailer of Will Smith with his daughter, early on.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's just a good guy put in a bad situation, but some of them should be dicks. They should be villains. That's the whole point of Suicide Squad.
Yeah, true. And who knows? Maybe this could be the movie where they lose any humanity. They had to show us their humanity so that when they lose it, it makes that much more sense.
Possible.
Like this could be the film where they set them up as hardened villains.
It looks fun, though. What do you think, Patty?
I'm very excited. I mean, if nothing else, I'm excited for the recreation of the Joker-like character, as well as a Harley Quinn that's doesn't appear to be completely a moron. And I mean, it's one of my favorite characters. I mean, she's obviously very popular among the crowds of nerdiness.
Well, she's always deceptively a moron, right? Like she kind of just acts like one, but she really is actually very smart because she was a psychiatrist in the comics, or in the TV show originally, and then the comics, and then just becomes crazy. So she is smart, but just nuts.
If nothing else, I'm very excited that I'm happy that we have Will Smith in it. Now, granted, Will Smith has done a lot of things, and people feel usually 100% one way or 100% a different way about him. If nothing else, if it is a bad movie, if the plot does not come together, it'll be a bearable, watchable movie because he's in it. Like I don't know, for whatever he does, sometimes what he does is great, and sometimes what he does isn't great, but it's never just completely awful. I would never burn it.
I've got an alternate theory. In big ensemble casts like this, the most popular and highest paid actor is always the first one to die.
Or he takes more of the screen time when we don't really want him to, because that character isn't that.
That's true.
That character isn't that great or that interesting, perhaps, but they're giving him a lot more time even in the preview. So I'm worried about that, giving him too much time.
Yeah. But I think Will Smith has to be the highest paid actor in the cast, and so he'll either go first or he'll be the center of the film for some reason.
For some reason, yeah.
I mean, he appears in the trailer to be the leader, like to be the organized leader, if that makes any sense, of the group. As far as on the ground, he's the tactical leader.
Well, what's funny is that he's not actually the guy who played in the RoboCop reboot, who played RoboCop.
Yeah,
he's the leader of the Suicide Squad in this movie, but they showed him for about 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah, like 2 seconds in one
which
shot.
Which is funny because he's in the comics and in this movie, he's casted as the guy. I forgot his name right now, but he's the leader of the Suicide Squad. And he had like one snippet of a line. That was it.
Well, good job, guys. Now I'm worried because they obviously feature Will Smith as the center of the photo when they released the cast and the center of the trailer photo.
There are a couple cast members that really only got 1 to 2 seconds in the trailer, which could just be an indication that the movie's about something much bigger than we can actually see right now.
And they could just be using a lot of Will Smith in promo materials because he's Will Smith. So that makes sense.
True.
Yeah, I mean, we'll attract
Smith.
audiences. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I'm shut up and take my money. I'm going to see it.
Yeah, this one's taking my money too. I'll go see this.
Man, we are
too.
being sweeped this week by shut up and take my money.
Well, I can't resist a big blockbuster that's guaranteed to have some good action, some good laughs, and a decent cast.
And compare this to our bad weeks where there's no trailers for us to watch. It's like Ragnarok or one of those shitty movies.
Man, I was thinking we should do that. We should actually review movies that we reviewed trailers for.
The ones that we said we were going to burn.
Yeah, like Ragnarok. That's a great
example.
It's
on Netflix right now.
Make yourself watch the movies you said you wouldn't watch.
Absolutely. I think it's a great idea.
They had me at Harley Quinn, so.
Oh, yeah. Yep. She's great.
All right, so this week, this might be the first time that we have unanimously given all films reviewed shut up and take my money. This might be a
with
first.
3 people, no less.
That's true.
Very true. Well, I want to do a quick little thank you section. It's a little longer than usual because we've been gone for a while, but for Twitter, we have Ryan, or @PositivelyNerdy, who said in regards to our Jurassic Park episode, I must be one of those people who doesn't know how to have fun because here's my review of The Lost World. And he put a picture of Ian Malcolm in front of the giant pile of Triceratops poop. And he says, that is one big pile of shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah. And I also want to thank these people who favorited or retweeted us, which would be @NickChick, Lieutenant Dan, or DLevitt79, Mike, or @Jarek, as usual, wonderful guy, Paul Wright, or @Furbob1, who's my fellow co-host on the 10 Forward podcast, Jessica Sippos, the actress, who I'm sure is listening right now from Ascension, Kristen Bazzaio, or @PlayLeadership, our former guest in the show, First Time Trekker, or @FirstTimeTrek, Snap Zoo Entertainment, Savage Junkie Games, or @SavageJunkie, Sci-Fi Waffle Podcast, or @Sci-Fi Waffle, which is the new podcast by Sean Vanderloo and Paul Wright, both people who have been...
Oh, that was the name they added on? And
that's what they find. Okay. It's a funny name. It's a good show to have listened to the episode. Alicia Garuso, or Grauso, sorry, the editor-in-chief of Movie Pilot News, which is actually kind of a big movie news aggregate source, and Club Adipose, or @Geeks Diet. And on Facebook, we have Daniel Hitch, who agree with me that Ascension should be something made into a movie to tie up the loose ends. And Steve later on posted about Pride and Prejudice and zombies, images from the new movie being released, saying finally a period piece you can get behind. Which Kristen Rizzaio responded, I don't understand why they have to have dojos. They can't use fisticuffs and fox hunting rifles to kill zombies. And which Daniel Hitch, our loyal listener, who's actually from Britain over there where that story was written, he said, Queensbury rules and blunderbusses at the ready, and these dead blighters will be blasted for king and country. Spiffing.
and never was a more British thing ever said.
And he also said, and hang around my local pub about kicking out time, and you'll find enough zombies. Yeah, that's pretty true. But thanks for everyone else who's also favorited and followed us and liked us and everything else you can do. Follow, like Twitch, all that jazz. So thanks for
Twitch, Twitter, Facebooks, Google Pluses.
Yes, we're on Instagram and Tumblr now. Or I'm active
Instagram,
on there.
SoundCloud.
Do we have a Periscope yet?
We don't. I wanted to look into that, but it's live video, so we could technically Periscope our podcasts and do live.
Hey,
we'll look into that.
Can I
do my
can
hair
I give
for
a little
that?
stab for myself?
No, please do.
So hey guys, tune into Twitch. We're gonna continue playing games. Of course, we've always got. Sorry, I had to give a plug for myself. Of course. So we've got on Tuesdays now the new time for the Glitzy Gamers. On Thursdays and Saturdays, you can find me streaming. Coming here shortly, we're gonna get some new streamers. Maybe a new streamer for Mondays and one for Wednesdays. So we'll give you more content from week to week. And then I need you guys to hold me true. I want to post pictures of the progress of the costume I'm building for Dragon Con, but the trick is I've got to finish it for Dragon Con. So let's hear you guys on the thing, and I'll post pictures and we'll get that up. But yeah, we're going to be costume construction for Dragon Con. It might be related to Fallout.
Woo! Yes, that is our Play on Nerds Twitch channel, which Patrick started and it's been growing, and you should definitely check it out and follow us on there. And that is our giant return episode. We hope to be back on a more regular case now. That didn't make any sense. What I just said.
Regular cadence, I think was the word you were looking for.
We hope to be back at a regular pace, maybe? Anyway.
Cadence?
Cadence.
Is that?
Patience? I don't know. Anyways, thanks for joining us. Thank you, Patrick, for joining us. Guest hosting with us today.
Thanks, bud.
And we'll see you again soon, I'm sure. And that's pretty much it. Stay nerdy, my friends.
Thanks again, Internet.